Have you ever felt like you couldn't stop thinking about someone? A face that resurfaces in your dreams, a voice that resonates in your mind, a name that escapes your lips without warning. Whether it's a past love, a fleeting encounter, or a person you've never met, this feeling can be as fascinating as it is frustrating. But what lies behind this phenomenon? Is it simply a whim of the mind? Or is there something deeper, a hidden meaning waiting to be revealed? Maybe it's a sign of destiny, a calling of the soul, or maybe it's just an illusion created by our desire for connection. What if I told you that the answer to these questions could change your life? What if I told you that understanding the spiritual meaning of constantly thinking about someone could open the door to a new awareness of yourself and the world around you? If you stay until the end of this story, I will guide you on a journey to discover the mysteries of the mind and soul. We'll explore the different reasons why we might constantly think about someone, from karmic bonds to energetic connections, from soulmates to twin flames. You'll discover how to recognize the signs of a deep connection and how to use this knowledge to enrich your life. And you will discover how to protect yourself from obsessive thoughts that turn into something negative and harmful for you. But before continuing, subscribe to the channel and activate notifications so that you are informed when we publish new content for your spiritual growth. The sun was setting on the Zen temple of Kamyoji, painting the surrounding hills with a golden light that was reflected on the garden pond, creating an atmosphere of peace and serenity. The air was filled with the sweet scent of incense burning inside the temple, where a group of pilgrims had gathered in silent waiting. Among them was Akiko, a young woman with questioning amber eyes. She had arrived at the temple after a long train journey from Tokyo, driven by the desire to find answers to the anxieties that troubled her soul. Next to her sat Daisuke, a middle-aged businessman whose stress-lined face gave away his search for refuge from the frenzy of modern life. And then there was Kenzo, an elderly artist with snow-white hair and eyes that shone with childish curiosity. Everyone was there to hear the words of the venerable senior monk, Master Rauken. His reputation as a sage and spiritual guide had attracted pilgrims from every corner of the country. And that evening the topic of his lesson was particularly intriguing, the spiritual meaning of constantly thinking about someone. Rauken entered the room with a slow and measured step, his face marked by time, but illuminated by an inner serenity that exuded a sense of peace and wisdom. He wore a simple orange robe and carried with him a wooden stick smoothed by time. He bowed slightly to the pilgrims and sat on his meditation cushion. "Welcome, dear friends," Rauken began in a warm, reassuring voice. "I am pleased to see you here this evening. I hope your journey was peaceful and that you found peace in our humble temple." The pilgrims responded with a bow, and Rauken continued, "As many of you know, our thoughts can be like restless monkeys, leaping from branch to branch endlessly. But sometimes a particular thought seems to cling to our mind, refusing to let go. It may be the thought of a loved one, a lost love, or even a stranger we met for just a moment." Akiko found herself nodding, remembering the face of a man she had recently met at a cafe in Tokyo. It had only been a brief exchange of words, but the image of him kept popping up in her mind without warning. Ryokan continued, "This phenomenon can be a source of great confusion and frustration. We wonder why we can't stop thinking about this person, if there is a deeper meaning behind this persistence. The truth is there are many reasons why we might be constantly thinking about someone," Ryokan explained. "One of them is that we share a deep connection with that person's soul. Because you should know, we are all interconnected on an energetic and spiritual level, but some connections are stronger than others. These deep connections are often described as soulmate bonds or twin flames," Ryokan continued. "Soulmates are like two halves of the same apple, destined to find each other and complete each other. Twin flames, on the other hand, are like two flames that merge into one, creating an even more intense and transformative bond. Daesuk, the businessman, raised his hand. Master Ryokan, how can we know if the person we constantly think about is our soulmate or instead our twin flame? Ryokan smiled. This is a question many ask Daesuk. There is no simple answer because each connection is unique and special. But there are some signs that may indicate the presence of a deep bond. First and foremost, there is a sense of immediate recognition and familiarity when you meet your soulmate or twin flame, Ryokan explained. It's like you've known her forever, even though you've just met her. There's a feeling of comfort and security, like you've come home. Ryokan continued, secondly, there is a strong magnetic pull towards this person. It can be a physical, emotional, intellectual, or spiritual attraction. You feel drawn to her like a moth to a flame, even if you can't explain why. I remember a young woman who came to me a few years ago. Ryokan recounted. She was tormented by constant thoughts of a man she met on a trip to India. She couldn't explain this attraction, given that the man was very different from her in terms of culture, age, and interests. Yet, she felt a deep and inexplicable connection with him. I advised her to meditate on her connection with this man, to listen to her heart and her intuition. After some time, the woman returned to me beaming. She had discovered that the man was her soulmate and that their meeting was predestined. Ryokan paused, then added, finally, there is a deep desire for growth and transformation. Your soulmate or twin flame pushes you to become the best version of yourself. It challenges you to push your limits and realize your full potential. Kenzo, the artist, spoke up. Master Ryokan, I have heard of soul contracts. What exactly are they? Soul contracts are agreements our souls make before incarnating on Earth, Ryokan replied. These agreements establish the experiences we will have and the people we will meet throughout our lives. Some soul contracts involve romantic relationships. Ryokan continued. For example, you may have made an agreement to meet your soulmate or twin flame in this lifetime. These encounters are often tumultuous and full of challenges, but they can also lead to extraordinary growth and transformation. I know a man who met his twin flame under very difficult circumstances, Ryokan recounted. Both were married to other people and had children. Their love was forbidden and painful, but at the same time it pushed them to question their lives and search for the truth. After many years of internal struggle, the man and his twin flame decided to leave their respective spouses and be together. Their decision caused great pain and suffering to their families, but at the same time allowed them to live their love fully and fulfill their destiny. Ryokan paused, then added, but not all persistent thoughts are the result of a deep connection with the soul. Sometimes we constantly think about someone because that person is thinking about us. Our minds are powerful transmitters and receivers of energy, the monk explained. When someone thinks intensely about us, their energy can reach us and influence our thoughts and feelings. This phenomenon is especially evident when we are emotionally connected to that person, Ryokan continued. For example, if you have a strong friendship or romantic relationship with someone, you are more likely to sense their thoughts. I remember a mother who was very worried about her son, who had gone on a long sea voyage, Ryokan recounted. One day, the mother felt a strong sense of anguish and had a vision of her son in danger. Immediately, she called the Coast Guard, who managed to save her son from a storm. Ryokan smiled. Have you ever thought about someone right before they called or texted you? This isn't just a coincidence. It's the power of energetic connection. Akiko raised her hand. Master Ryokan, what can we do if a person's thoughts disturb us, overwhelm us, or even become negative? There are several techniques you can use to protect yourself from unwanted energies, Ryokan replied. Meditation, visualization, and energy cleansing are just a few examples. Meditation helps us calm the mind and focus on the present moment. Ryokan explained, visualization allows us to create a protective shield around us, while energetic cleansing helps us free ourselves from negative energies. Ryokan continued, but the most important thing is to remember that you are the master of your thoughts. You don't have to dwell on negative or unwanted thoughts. You can choose to focus on positive and constructive thoughts. Imagine yourself to be a garden, Ryokan continued, a garden full of colorful and fragrant flowers. Each flower represents a thought. Some flowers are beautiful and bring you joy, while others are prickly and cause you pain. You are the gardener of this garden, and you have the power to choose which flowers to grow and which to weed out. When an unwanted thought presents itself, recognize it for what it is, a thorny flower. Don't fight it, but observe it with kindness and compassion. Then, gently, let him go. Don't let it take root in your garden. Ryokan paused, then added, remember, dear friends, that the mind is a powerful instrument. We can use it to create beauty and harmony, or we can allow it to become a battlefield. The choice is ours. The pilgrims listened in silence, absorbing Ryokan's words like sponges. Akiko felt a sense of calm and clarity come over her. The teacher's words had given her a new perspective on her thoughts and had shown her a way to deal with her worries. After the lesson, the pilgrims gathered in the temple garden for a cup of tea. Akiko approached Ryokan and asked him, Master, I have a question. How can I distinguish between thoughts that come from my own mind and those that come from other people? Ryokan smiled. This is a very important question, Akiko. The answer is not always easy, but there are some clues that can help you. First, pay attention to the quality of your thoughts. He explained, thoughts that come from your mind are generally more consistent with your personality and values, while conversely, thoughts that come from other people may seem foreign or out of place. Also, notice how you feel when you have these thoughts. Ryokan continued, thoughts that come from your mind usually make you feel comfortable and at peace. Thoughts that come from other people, however, can cause anxiety, confusion, or discomfort. Remember to use your intuition. Ryokan concluded, your intuition is a powerful and wise guide. If you feel uncomfortable with a thought, trust your instincts and let it go. Akiko thanked Ryokan for his wisdom and joined the other pilgrims. As he sipped his tea, he watched the full moon shining in the night sky. She felt grateful for the opportunity to have met Master Ryokan and to have received his teachings. She knew her journey had just begun, but she felt ready to face any challenge, strengthened by the wisdom she had received.